The big fight, Buatsi versus Bolotniks. Let's talk about it here on BWTM Sports Gaming. Stay tuned. So it's been announced Joshua Buatsi is going to be fighting Ricards Bolotniks, the winner of the MTK Golden Contract. First and foremost, I'm glad that Joshua Buatsi changed trainers and went to Virgil Hunter. He definitely needs to do something in his training, his career, because to me, much. He looked like he was going backwards in his career, to be frank, honest with you, getting caught with silly punches and, getting hit by guys and caught by guys that are lower tier. And for a guy who's going to be the future of the light heavyweight division, I was very concerned about where his career was going. Anyway, he's still unbeaten. And now he fights Ricards Bolotniks. Now, I want to look at him. He's a Latvian fighter. His record is, let me get here. No, sorry, where we got here. Here's his record here. He's 18 fights with 8 KOs. He's been stopped 3 times. We've lost 5 fights and 1 draw. He's ranked number 1 in Latvia. So he's number 1 light heavyweight in Latvia, if that means anything. So you think to yourself, he's been beaten a few times, but he's been beaten by some decent guys. And he's also holds win over Hosea Burton. Correct? Let me check that again on BoxRec. I'm sure he has beaten Hosea Burton. Am I right? Let me check and read that. Yeah, he beat Hosea Burton in 2020. He won a unanimous decision over Hosea Burton, and people were talking big things about Hosea Burton. He beat Stephen Ward, who's 12-0. Beat Hosea Burton, who's 25-1. He beat Sergey Michel, who's 11-1. And now he's fighting Joshua Buatsi. So the form book for Mr. Bolotniks, it looks good. Looks really good. He's beaten unbeaten fighters. The thing I like about Bolotniks, forget about the fight a second. What I like about Bolotniks, he paces himself. He fights like a professional. Paces himself. Tucks up very nice by a nice tight guy. Doesn't just tuck up though. He tucks up and he see punches. He blocks punches. He doesn't just tuck up and just take a whole heap of punches. He has a nice little roll. So he blocks right hands off the shoulder, rolls off the shoulder very nicely. He's got a wicked body, and he fights in spurts. Like he'll follow you around the ring for a minute, and then when he thinks he's got you, he shoots a jab. He puts a nice straight right hand down the pipe, straight right hand down the pipe, and a nice left hook to the body. He seems a physically strong guy, and I think he's a heavier puncher than advertised. But Bolotnik's problem is he doesn't throw. When he gets a guy, he doesn't throw volume punches, he doesn't throw a lot of punches. He doesn't. When he explodes, he could put more punches together. Do you understand? Like I would speed up when he's throwing punches. I'd get him throwing more of those punches, or he's fairly accurate with shots. When he fought Sergey Michel, I saw him in that fight. That was a nice fight. The guy started well. It's a good jab, good mover, moves around the ring nicely. I saw him catching with a left hook to the body, and I thought, this guy slowly breaking him down. This fight is going to be a test for Joshua Buatsi. It's going to be a real test because this guy is coming off a good winning run, and he's come off he's got experience now. He's fought guys that are top level. And Tuno's a good fighter. Tuna gave even Usyk problems, and Tuna beat Eddie Chambers. So I think it's a good fight. I think Bolotniks need to watch that guy because he's got some good form coming in, and he's no patsy. Don't think that the fights that what Joshua Buatsi's fought before. The guys that Joshua Buatsi's beaten, I think Bolotniks can beat as well. Joshua Buatsi's gonna have to watch that left hook to the body and that straight right hand he throws. He seems to be able to get out of the way of the right hand nice. He doesn't take right hands to flush. He doesn't walk in straight lines and gets caught flush. The one thing I don't like about Bolotniks is he doesn't close the range off fast enough. He's a guy that takes his time and breaks you down. But I think he's got enough power there to hurt Buatsi, and he's got enough power there to cause an upset. This guy could upset Joshua Buatsi. Make no bones about it. This guy could upset Joshua Buatsi. I'm telling you now, this guy has got what it takes. He puts pressure. He'll put pressure on Buatsi. He won't allow Buatsi to stand there and throw them big looping, big punches. He's going to put Buatsi under pressure. He's going to make Buatsi fight, and he'll bring shots. He hasn't got a problem taking punches. You know, he's a strong, durable guy. I think the fights he's lost previously in his career, he's learnt from them, and he's become a better fighter from it. So I've always thought Joshua Buatsi was a bit hyped up, a bit too much. Decent punching power, but I still don't know. This fight is going to tell us a lot more about Joshua Buatsi. This, for me, is a step-up fight for Joshua Buatsi. This Bolotnik is not going to get blown out in a round or two. If his form matches up to how he's been fighting and he comes action, he fought with that for that MTK Global golden contract. If he fights that same way, he can beat Joshua Buatsi. He's got it there. Why? He's got a nice stiff jab on him. Good stiff jab, hard jab. He'll push Buatsi back. He's got that straight right hand and throw down the pipe. A punch that Joshua Buatsi is open to, or he has been open to. And he's got a nice left hook to the body. And he tucks up nicely as well. So he rolls with shots. And he knows how to slip the right hand nicely. And the right hand is a punch that Joshua Buatsi uses a lot. So Buatsi gets caught with a lot of right hands. He's not been defensively responsible. I hope that the time he spent with Virgil Hunter, he's worked on working on being defensively responsible, because the guys he's fought so far, and the guy before he fought the last fight he fought, I didn't watch that fight. The guy he fought before that, Buatsi was getting hit with right hands all night long, and he was not blocking them at all. This guy Bolotniks has got a good chance of causing an upset because he's got the intangibles there. He seems to have a lot of heart, guts, determination, good winning run, beating guys with unbeaten records. You know, he's a champion himself in his own right. So this is a good fight, a real good fight, a dangerous fight, and not surprising with Matchroom. They tend to put these matchups up because he's had a few knockouts in his record, but his last 3 fights or 4 fights, I wouldn't match him. I wouldn't match Joshua Buatsi with him just yet because I'm not convinced. Well, there we go. Ruben, Joshua Buatsi is the best light heavyweight in Britain. I don't know how you can come to that conclusion. He's the best light heavyweight in Britain. He hasn't fought Anthony Yarde. He hasn't fought Arthur. Who has he fought? He hasn't fought anybody. So again, this is this stuff. I think Bolotnik's got what it takes to beat Buatsi. To be honest, it all depends on what he comes up with on the night, his attitude, and how he comes out on the night, and what the strategy is going to be. If he comes out like he did against Michel, I think those tactics are fine against Buatsi. You're just going to have to let his hands go a little quicker and don't let Buatsi get off. Back Buatsi up against the ropes. Double out that nice hard jab he's got. He's got a nice hard jab down, a good strong right hand. Physically strong, that's what I said. So we'll see what happens when Buatsi has a guy in there who's coming to win. He's not coming to get punched and beat up. And his career is on the line as well. So this is a Latvian guy this is a boxer that I actually personally like. I saw him, I watched him for the first 5 minutes of the episode. I like this guy right to the end against Michel. And Michel was hyped up as well. A lot of people talked about his amateur days and what he could do as an amateur. I like the way he systematically went about breaking down Michel. And that, because I don't think Bolotniks was not the favourite in this fight. When I looked at that fight, I saw what Bolotnik was doing, the way he went about a guy who was highly skilled, unbeaten, and he was the favourite in that fight, and he literally systematically took him apart. I see him hit with a left hook to the body, second, third round, and the boy didn't. After he got hit with that left hook to the body, he started dancing around. The guy's physically strong, and he could have probably put a stoppage in a lot sooner if he, if he was a bit more adventurous. He could have stopped the guy sooner. This guy's dangerous. Bolotniks is very dangerous. I think he's very dangerous. I think he's a very good light heavyweight. People will overlook him because he's from Latvia and Uzi. But if you look at his track record coming into this fight, he's got a nice track record coming into this fight. Nice record. Nice. He's even fought Hosea Burton, something that even Buatsi hasn't done. So yeah, he fought the better opposition. To be fair, he's fought better opposition to Buatsi anyway. So Buatsi's not, in terms of records, he's fought better opposition. Bolotniks has fought better opposition than Buatsi. So Buatsi, for me, has been very much protected since his career started. So it's all for Buatsi to lose this fight and all for Bolotniks to win. This is a fight for Buatsi to lose and a winnable fight for Bolotniks because he's got, like I've said before, he's got the skill set. He can deflect punches with his shoulder. So he can put pressure on. He's got a nice jab. It's Bolotniks' work rate is going to be key for him. If he can set a nice high work rate with Buatsi, beat him to the jab, rock his head back, and start putting punches in, I think when he starts to hit Buatsi back, I think we might see a different fight altogether. And Buatsi is one of those guys, from what I see, he's not up here. He's not. I'm not saying he's not intelligent, but from what I've seen of previous fights, when he gets hit with a right hand, he still stayed. He kept hitting right hand round after round after round, getting hit with the same right hand. That tells me his boxing IQ isn't where it should be for a world-class fighter, a professional world-class fight. He might be there for the amateurs, only 3 rounds or 4 rounds. But in the 12-round fight, you're getting hit with a right hand over and over again and not making adjustments. That's a concern. I hope that Virgil Hunter teaches him while he's there, and it's enough time for Virgil Hunter to protect him or give him a defense against the right hand, because he's going to need it. And he's going to have to protect himself against that left hook to the body, because that is and he's got a nice left hook on him as well. So this is left jab, right hand, step in, left hook to the body, and he really cracks that left hook in. Nice, slips it in nicely. So Buatsi is going to have to watch this guy like a hawk and don't let him get close to him. Don't let him set off. It's a good fight. Who wins? I don't know how Bolotniks is going to come out for this fight, but I like Bolotniks. Regardless what happens, I like him for this fight. Buatsi has it all to lose in this fight, and it's a dangerous fight. So I've given you the red alert already for this fight. This guy is dangerous, this Bolotniks. Buatsi has improved a little in his latest fight. He looked like he had more spite. He's going to do a demolition job on Bolotniks. Oh, my God. Oh, God. He's never done a demolition job on anybody. Who's he done a demolition job on? Name me one person who's done a demolition job that is of note. Oh, God, demolition job. Mate, I don't know how many times I have to teach you about boxing, but when we talk about demolition jobs in boxing, usually there's a track record of a guy who is capable of demolishing guys. But when's the last guy that Joshua Buatsi as he's moved up in class, and it's not been that much of a move up in class, he's been struggling to get guys out of there, right? The guy before that, he didn't do a demolition job on. He didn't do a demolition job on Ryan Ford. And Ryan Ford, for all arguments, it was a youth or a club wrestler, and then he turned into boxing. So, and Ryan Ford was giving Buatsi issues. So I don't want to hear nothing about no demolition job. Keep out of the fantasy world business. This guy's a good fighter. Look at Bolotniks. Look at how the guy boxes. Look at his win. Look at his record coming into the fight. Don't look at hype. Look at records. Look at what this guy's done. Look where he's been. Look who he's fought. Look at the class he's been in. Look how he's improved as a fighter since he's lost. Look at his winning run. The guys he's fought against, including Hosea Burton. A lot of people in the UK were rating very highly Tyson Fury's cousin, hosea Burton. Look at the fight Michelle fought. You will talk about amateur pedigree. And he went to the Olympics. Bolotniks did a number on him, and he was the favourite. Buatsi will come into this fight again as the favourite. That's nothing new to Bolotniks. He's fought in the UK before, so he knows the UK. I think it's UK fought before. Yes, I think it was in the UK he fought that fight. Let me double check and see. Yes, he fought against Stephen Ward in the UK, and Ward was 12-0. Can we think? He's 12-0. Yeah, he's 12-0 when he fought Stephen Ward. He's currently the WBO European light heavyweight champion. He looked good against Burton. He looked good in the Michelle fight as well. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. You need to go look at the Michelle fight. And that guy can box. He can box. He can move. You know, he's a mover. He's not going to stand and take silly punches like Buatsi does. This guy can box. Michelle, he's a good boxer. And Bolotniks did a number on him. He took him apart. Systematically broke him down round after round after round. And eventually stopped him. Bolotniks is a good fighter. You're not giving Bolotniks the credit he deserves. I think Buatsi is a decent fighter. I think he's very much protected and very much overhyped. He's a good fighter. But he's got it all to prove against a guy that I won't say this is the best fighter in the world, but he's a guy. I like how he goes about his business. I like the way he throws his punches, like how he's defensively responsible. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Buatsi to catch him cleanly. It will be interesting to see how Buatsi goes about his business. But if he beats Bolotniks, if he does do a demolition job of Bolotniks, I would say Buatsi's on the road because it would be against a guy who's got a winning record against his unbeaten fighters. So, yeah, it would be a good performance if he did blow him out the water. But I don't see that happening. That's it for me. Let me know what your thoughts on Joshua Buatsi and Bolotniks and what you thought of Bolotniks' fight against Michelle and against Burton for the golden contract of MTK Global. I think he's again one to watch in the light heavyweight division. Vastly improved. Speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.